Without a doubt, information delivery to the client is one of the critical project milestones. Its robustness and efficiency are essential to timely project completion. Here in Bentley, on a daily basis, we talk to engineering design firms and asset owners worldwide, and they report to us multiple challenges around submitting and reviewing deliverables. And the most common are poor visibility into project status, increased risk of delivering late or over budget, information security concerns, and unnecessary labor intensity of document control and review. To get to the bottom of how to improve information delivery, we have to look at a typical process flow of a contractual exchange where the involved parties elect not to use a digital collaboration platform. And that will help us unravel the key bottlenecks and highlight the inefficiencies of vendor document review, and knowing those makes it possible to find a solution. To find out more, let's have a quick listen to Greg Zeller of Bentley Systems.
Information between parties is often shared using various ad hoc sharing tools like shared drives, Dropbox, or email. These methods make many of these exchanges transactional and manual. And there's no formal acknowledgement of receipt or proper audit trail and no ability to enforce due dates and the like. The next challenge arises when the recipient party, or the client in our example, is reviewing deliverables. Typically, there are a group of reviewers assigned by a document controller with a lead reviewer who then consolidates all received feedback. When using ad hoc tools, multiple reviewers are unable to review a single document at the same time. Instead, they have to save the file locally or even print out the document and review separately. Hence, duplicate markups are created for the same document, and this is because reviewers are not aware other colleagues have also made markups on this document. The lead reviewer then needs to consolidate responses from multiple additional reviewers and additional duplicate files into one single response. With this outdated approach, the consolidator has no easy way to bring comments together quickly or remove unnecessary comments from the document. This creates a very time-consuming consolidation process. The originator of the deliverables, in turn, after receiving feedback and fixing the issues in the design, needs a good way of communicating to the client which issues were fixed and what changes were applied. The consultant should also be able to send updated drawings to the client to verify fixes and changes. When a newer document version is received for review, it can take a lot of time to compare the new design with the old one and verify that the initially raised issues were fixed. All these challenges lead to contractual exchanges being unnecessarily labor-intensive, subsequently leading to costly delays and increased project risk. The solution is to bring both parties into one collaborative platform where they can exchange deliverables in a closed-loop, concurrent review and acceptance process for as many cycles as necessary until the deliverables comply with the client's specifications. And this while capturing the entire history of communication between the parties.
Thanks, Greg. And ProjectWise 365 is exactly that. It provides you with a single digital collaborative platform for contractual exchanges and vendor document review. It comes with a suite of integrated cloud services like Deliverables Management and others that ensure certainty of information delivery and accountability of all involved parties. Through streamlined communication, scheduled due dates and reminders, explicit acknowledgement of receipt and audit trail, as well as access control, progress reporting, and visual insights into outstanding tasks. Now let's go through a quick demonstration of some of the capabilities in ProjectWise 365 that can help you streamline your contractual exchanges and vendor document reviews. In this session, we'll demonstrate various aspects of the review process. This often involves multiple roles from the project team on both vendor and client side. These primary roles include creator. This can be a designer, a project manager, a document controller, or anyone who would be sending out packages for review. The approver. This is the person who will be reviewing the documents that have been submitted. And the administrator. This can be the project administrator or anyone that has the privilege of adding members to the project. First, let's review how to invite internal and external participants to a project. To start, let's go to the administration area of ProjectWise 365. And first, let's see how to add internal participants. Here you see a current list of internal project participants. To add a new user, simply click the green Add User button at the top right of the screen. Next, add a username or email address, or select from the list of users connected to your organization. Then select the appropriate role for the new user. By default, each user will be assigned the role of a team member. This allows the user to create and save a draft package, but not issue the package directly. In our case, a team member such as a document controller with more elevated privileges can then issue the package sometime in the future. We can change and customize roles at any time to provide the desired privileges to the team members. Click on the user whose role you wish to modify and then click on Modify Roles, and you will be presented with a list of available roles. Search for the appropriate role. In this case, we'll choose Document Controller and add it to the roles to be assigned. There is no need to remove the team member role in this case because the role with the higher privileges will supersede more restricted roles. We can now see that the role of Document Controller has been added to this user. To see the privileges assigned to each role, first click on the Manage Roles button here. Then go to Project Roles in the left navigation. In this case, we are working specifically with Deliverables Management, so select ProjectWise Deliverables Management. Clicking on Team Member here will highlight the privileges associated with this role. When clicking on Document Controller, you can now see the list of elevated privileges associated with this role. Disciplines from 1 to 5 can be modified as desired to meet your project needs. Now let's go back to the Administration tab and add external participants to the project. All you need to do is to add the email address of the primary point of contact from the external organization you wish to collaborate with. This user will receive an email invitation to join this project. Once the user accepts the invitation, they will be able to invite their own internal participants to collaborate on the project. You also have the option to include a message with the invitation. Then click Send Invite to issue the invitation. Here we see the invitation is currently pending. Once the invitation has been accepted, you will receive an email notification informing you this invitation has indeed been accepted. Back in ProjectWise 365 Manage External Organizations, you can now see the status has been updated to Accepted, and there is currently one member from this organization added to this project. Now let's put our Creator hat on. That can be someone like Document Controller or a BIM Administrator or any other role that is creating and issuing transmittal packages. First, let's choose New Transmittal from the drop-down. This will load a simple form that you will need to complete. Enter the subject, then select a purpose. The purpose chosen will inform whether acknowledgement and response are required. If you wish, you can also add optional comments for the recipient of the package. The Deliverables Management service provides a templated cover letter that can be accessed by clicking here. Next, click on Recipients tab, then click Add Recipients. Here you can add both internal and external recipients. In this example, we will select one external recipient. As the purpose was set to For Review previously, you can see the recipient is required to both acknowledge and respond to this package. The Documents tab is where you add the required documents to this package. If you are sending a large number of documents, you can upload them from a zip archive from your local computer. In this example, we will add documents directly from ProjectWise. Start by clicking Add from Storage here, then navigate to the folder where the documents you wish to send are located. Choose the appropriate documents and click Select. For each document, you can add additional information like version, state, description, or other attributes that can be configured in the Settings menu. Next, we'll move to the Scheduling tab. The default values for acknowledgement and response are 2 and 14 days respectively. If you prefer, you can select a fixed date from the calendar as shown here. Recipients will receive a reminder for both acknowledgement and response as set here. Planned issue dates are optional, but can be useful if you wish to pre-configure package drops in advance and be reminded to issue them at the appropriate time. The service will first create a cover letter. Click here to review the cover letter. If everything is in order, click Confirm to issue the transmittal. Now clicking on the Outgoing tab of the Deliverables Management service, We can see the new transmittal listed along with confirmation that this transmittal is to be acknowledged in 2 days and responded to in 14 days. Now let's take a look at the review and approval process when working with packages. As a reviewer and approver, you have several ways to access a package that needs to be reviewed. The first is from an email notification about a package that has been received. Clicking on Open in Portal here will take you directly to the referenced package. Packages can also be accessed from within ProjectWise Insights. Choose the Submittal to Do tab. It shows all pending acknowledgements and responses for submittals. Right-click on the chart and drill through to the submittal list. You will be redirected to a page containing links to all submittals that are outstanding and awaiting response. And finally, packages can be accessed by clicking on the incoming tab in Deliverables Management. The information you see here is in essence your personal dashboard and provides visual cues as to which step is next to be addressed for each package that requires your input. A convenient filter list provides options to access the data that is most important to you. The blue action buttons quickly highlight what action is required next. We can acknowledge the received package by clicking on the blue Acknowledge button, or we can open it first. Before you can start reviewing a package, you must first acknowledge it. It will be recorded in the audit trail. If you received a package that is not relevant to you, you also have the option to immediately reject it. Once you click Acknowledge, you will see 2 new tabs have been added: Responses and My Response. Click on the My Response tab and you will have access to the documents associated with this package. Let's review your plan first. Clicking on the document will launch the PDF markup service, which supports real-time concurrent redlining and creation of formal issues during the review. If there are other users reviewing this document, you will see a number more than 1 in the upper right corner of the window. In this example, we notice some measurements are missing and we want to communicate the required changes to the originator of the drawing. Using the annotation tools, we can highlight the area of interest. We can turn a red line markup to a formal issue that can be assigned to the appropriate party to address. First, we'll indicate that there are missing dimensions in the section view. Next, add a description as required. If you wish to assign this issue to the originator of the drawing, leave the assigned field blank. Otherwise, you can choose from a list of assignees or roles to which you wish to assign this issue. You also have the option of adding additional information from the drop-down lists associated with discipline, level of impact, and non-compliance in their dedicated fields. The issue has now been created. Now we can navigate to the Response Pending drop-down and choose the appropriate response. In this case, we'll select Revise Resubmit. Before sending the response, here you have the option to add additional comments for the whole document, and then click Send Response. Now we see that 1 document has been responded to along with the number of issues pertaining to this drawing and the current status of those issues. As a reviewer or coordinator, you may want to request input from additional reviewers for 1 or several documents in the package. This can be easily accomplished by first clicking on the Additional Reviewers tab. Next, click Add Additional Reviewers and select 1 or several internal participants that you require input from. You have the option to assign consolidator status to any of the users you select. This means that all reviewers will report into those with consolidator status. This capability can help you organize a hierarchy of reviewers when required. When ready, click Add Selected, then set a due date for the reviewers and add an optional message if required as send request. Once the additional reviewers provide their responses, you will receive an email notification to see any changes. Click on the Open Portal button as previously, go to My Response, and then click on the additional reviewers. You can now see the responses they have provided, and you have the option to change the view from Show All Reviewers to Show Only Additional Reviewers, which will show only the response from the consolidator of the reviewers. Clicking on the document will allow you to review the markups that were created by the additional reviewers. As the drawing was approved by the consolidator, there is no need to see that this markup was added by a different reviewer. To eliminate any confusion, we can simply delete this markup as it is no longer relevant. When you go back, you will see that only the consolidator's response remains. Now to add your response, click on the My Response tab and choose a response from the drop-down list. If you prefer, you can summarize all the responses from all the reviewers by clicking the checkbox next to the document. Then select Summarize Responses here. We see that since the consolidator approved this drawing, the response is set to Approve. If, for example, you had one approved and one rejected from the additional reviewers, the consensus response would be Rejected. Looking at the responses that have been provided so far, we see only one document has not yet been responded to. In this example, we will go ahead and approve this drawing. Clicking on Send Responses will deliver your responses to the creator of the package. Next, we will show you how to review, verify, and approve changes in the new revision of the previously rejected drawing. Once the revised drawing has been submitted to you, you will receive an email notification. Click on the Open Portal button and acknowledge the package. Here you can now see the transmittal package has a suffix added to reflect the new version. Clicking here allows you to go back to the previous version as required. Next, click on the My Response tab. Here we see the new version of the original plan. Click on the plan to open, and you now see the original issue overlaid on top of the new version of the drawing, and we can clearly see the missing dimensions were added, and we can verify it as resolved. For more complex cases, it may be necessary to perform graphical comparisons of two revisions of drawings. To do this, click on the panel icon at the top left of the screen, then navigate to the folder of the drawings you wish to compare. Then click Version History. Now you can compare the active version you have opened to the previous version. Next, click Compare and rotate the document if necessary. This will overlay the active version of the drawing over the previous version and highlight all of the new additions in red. When done, click Back. Next, choose the appropriate response from the drop-down list. In this case, we will approve this drawing. Click Send Responses and then Confirm. We now see 0 open issues against this drawing, as well as 1 closed issue which has been resolved. Clicking on Review Response History provides visibility into the entire response history associated with this submission. As the originator of a transmittal package, you will be notified when responses are received. Navigate to the portal and click on the Responses tab. To review markups and issues in rejected documents, first click on the document to review. Here you can review any of the issues that were created during the review process by clicking on the issue icon in the markup. Once corrections have been made to the document and you are ready to submit a new revision, mark the issue as fixed by clicking here. You also have the option to reject the issue. We're back to the main responses page and ready to resend new versions. In the Documents tab, you will see that the documents that need to be resubmitted are conveniently highlighted. In this example, there is one plan that needs to be resubmitted. Navigate to the folder where the revised drawing resides. Select the new revision and then update the version to match the version of the document. Now we are ready to issue this package for re-review. Look at the cover letter as before and then click Confirm. After the package is issued, it will have the original transmittal number with the version letter B appended to it. If for any purpose you are required to review the previous submission, you can always go back and select the superseded version. Here you can see the original submission and the responses associated with that submission by your recipients.